I made it in life. And I still felt like I was not happy. And I did not understand why. But I went and Googled it. I said, why am I not happy? And then I bumped into Tony Robbins. And then after, that's the first moment I step into self-development. And that's how it opened my mind. Like when I first started, I owned the very first 6 restaurants. So we run it, so we know the system is working. So that's why the difference between the other franchisor and us is that actually I am the store operator myself for years and years.
This guy has not 1, not 2, 3 Lambos. That's impressive. Especially the fact that you have them in Quebec. And what do you have 3? Like 1 is enough, right? What do you have 3?
We only get one life. So I do, even though I really I had passion for making sushi, but I don't see myself doing it for the rest of my life. We have to taste different flavors in life. So that's why I started expanding. And also, people will always just go for something that's in their favor. During COVID, when the lockdown arrived, all my restaurants, the sales dropped by about 80%. I was panicking, and also my staff was panicking. I told my staff, I said, don't worry, I will not cut any one of you. I'll figure out something. During that time, I was just losing money every single day. But once they received the support from the government, the 2K per month, I lost like 50% of my staff. See, I was there when they needed and stayed when I needed. But still, I still need to push forward.
Let's talk about like blueprint. Give some free nuggets to my audience. Those who are interested in restaurant. What are the biggest mistakes people make when opening a restaurant? All right, guys, welcome to the Elevate Podcast. We have the one and only, the myth, the legend, Jim Cam. Thank you, Jim, for having us today. Appreciate it.
Thank you. It's a pleasure for me.
It's a pleasure. Hey, man, Jim, you've been in the business for more than 12 years now. You have franchisee location. You have more than 100's in Quebec, especially in Quebec. From Sushi Sama to Canadara, which is one of my favorite one. How's everything?
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
Can I complain? For sure, there's always some hard times. But this is the part of life that I usually do not show. I just show the good stuff, just to keep people motivated. But some, for sure, will get jealous. But at first, maybe 20, 30 years ago, this is when I got actually excited about life. When you see a Lambo driving around right before your eyes, this is where I said, wow, this is something that I need. So for sure, if I can like motivate one person and have 100 hate it, it's okay. It's fine.
It's okay. Talking about Lambos, this guy has not 1, not 2, 3 Lambos. That's impressive. Especially the fact that you have them in Quebec where people don't really like to flash, or when you do, you know, some people are not comfortable with the attention they have. You don't mind about that, right? You don't mind about it. And what do you have 3? Like 1 is enough, right? What do you have 3?
Yeah,
what kind of models do you have?
I have 2 Huracans, 1 Evil Spider, and 1 that I just picked up yesterday. It's the Sterado version. So it's mainly for off-road. It's made for off-road. So basically, you can call it the Lamborghini for Quebec. So it's
the winter beater.
Yeah, the winter beater. It's actually, I think it's the best. And I
never seen this model. Like there's a headlight in the front. Like
yeah,
what is it exactly?
It's new because it's mainly for off-roading, going camping, like all the stuff, going mountain roads. So that's why this is additional lights for better visibility. That's
amazing. So you have 2 Hurricanes and 1
Urus Performante.
Urus. Okay.
This is my family car. And why 3 Lambo is, I'm a guy that experienced life. So once you get something that you really like, you do not just want to enjoy it a certain time during the year. You want it all year long. So that's why after the first one, I wanted to get the Urus because I have a little girl. I like to be able to drive her around in a Lambo. So that's why I got a second one. But still, an SUV, it's not a real Lambo with like a big engine behind your ears pumping the noise. So that's why I aim for the third one.
So why didn't you get some other models than Lamborghini if you have the money to buy them? Like a Ferrari, I don't know. Like Ferrari.
I just really like Lambo. Maybe it's just...
Have you ever watched the movie? The Lamborghini versus Ferrari. I don't know what's the movie.
No, I didn't watch the movie.
You didn't watch it?
Yeah, but a lot of people said it's very good. But I saw a lot of clips, very inspiring stories.
Yeah.
But Lamborghinis just got hooked on ever since I was a child.
Really?
So that's why.
Yeah.
And for about the flashy life that you mentioned, it wasn't initially like intended to do it. I used to have a very private profile, on Instagram, but that's why I got the first Lambo, a black one. I just didn't want to be the most flashy, but I like to enjoy like the sunlight, so that I got a convertible version. But it's just after you get it, it doesn't matter the color of the Lambo, the noise, people will hear it and they will see it. So I was just thinking, why not use it to just better inspire the next generation and also use it for your business purposes. So this way you can always attract more opportunities. People, they see you driving that kind of car, they kind of want to know who you are.
Who you are.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You know, it's there's a lot of saying, there's a lot of people who said that, like, when you have a supercar, it attracts opportunities. What kind of opportunity you had in your life based on this experience? Like, can you name one?
Yeah, a lot. Let's say if you have a Lambo, people will like to know what you're doing. So let's say I'm in the restaurant business. So I have people that does signage, constructions, even real estate brokers. They come to me and say, hey, let me help you out. Let me give you something good. Even for suppliers, they say, oh, this guy is doing good. So he's the owner of Sushi Sama with more than 30 locations. So they always want to give you a better price. So this is the kind of opportunities for sure you get on one of the first level. And then you also get people wanting to work with you, like on a day-to-day basis. So basically become a partner. So that's why I was able to have Ganadara working with me. I don't think it's mainly because of the Lambo, but we used to have a good relationship. I used to go to the restaurant every single week, if not days. So I really like the food. So that's why I say, hey, let's work together and bring it to the next level. And then we agree. We have a similar goal. And then we started working together.
That's amazing.
And that's how we did for several other brands too.
So not only you own some of the franchisees, but you also help other, which you're not the owner, but you're helping them.
But not really helping, but really good partnership together.
So you're
creating a joint venture.
Okay.
So that's the goal, because Sushi Sama, Poke Station, and Beb Cuisine, those are the three brands that I founded.
Sushi Sama,
Poke Station and Beb Cuisine. So I found it from scratch. So it doesn't exist before. So I just created everything from the logo to the menu and to the operational side. But Ganadara, it's a well-known brand for existing for more than 12 years. If I'm not mistaken, maybe older than Sushi Sama. But I just partnered with the existing owner, and then we work together as a joint venture to expand to the next level. Same goes for Clami and also The Alchemist.
Clami, that's way different from whatever you're doing right now. It's like, it's not a restaurant, right?
Yeah, it's not a restaurant.
So what did you get into that business?
But the thing is, we only get one life. So even though I had passion for making sushi, but I don't see myself doing it for the rest of my life. We have to taste different flavors in life. So that's why I started expanding. And also, when I went into franchising, I was mainly only franchising restaurant business. But what if the same blueprint that I have, the same formula, could be applied through a different industry? If that actually works, that means I can basically franchise any kind of business. So that's why this is where I'm trying to expand more out of the restaurant business.
How many locations do you guys have on with Clami?
We started franchising last year. Last November actually. We opened the first franchise location, and then now we have over 17 locations. 17? Yeah. So
let's say you have to sell me Clami as someone that might be interested. Mm-hmm. So what's Clami, and why is it a good business?
The good part of Clami versus restaurant business is business hours is very short, and also finding people to work does not require some specialized skill set. So it helps a lot. And then there's no loss in food because it's mainly for entertainment purposes.
For those who don't know what's Clami, can you tell us exactly?
Okay. Clami is a very, very you can call it the happy land. So for people, for families that wants to bring the kids, young couples that want to enjoy some good times, basically it's very simple. You buy tokens and then you start playing claw machines. And all the plushes that you win, you can keep it. It belongs to you. Or we have some very interesting price that you can trade the plushes that you win. They all each have a 2 points value. So you can trade it for a bigger price or a more interesting price. If not, sometimes we have some very exclusive items like Yeezys, PS5. So people,
Really?
yeah, they actually hold on to the points, so they save it. So each time they come play, they save the points to one day be able to win it. It's a experience that we're selling. So people like the idea of having fun, enjoying the moment with people that they care about, and also be able to win something that they like. So it's an overall selling experience.
Got it. And now, if you have to sell me, like, why is it a good business? Someone who's looking to buy something, so I can have an extra income. Is it something that is?
Yeah, of course, it's a business that can be run very, very easily by themselves. That's why people are interested. That's why for a new business model, we were able to open 16 locations within a year, which is amazing.
That's very good.
Yeah.
That's pretty fast too. That means that
because people see the potentials. People see how easily it is for the business owner manager to operate the stores, and also they like it. The fact that the people coming to play, they had a good time, and if they have a good time, they will come back again. And also, word to mouth marketing. It's pretty easy, and also compare different to the restaurant industry. Is there's no loss in food cost because all the plushies they do not deteriorate, right?
Yeah.
So that's why it's pretty fun. It's a fun concept. You go there, you feel happy yourself too. You should try. Bring your girlfriend, bring your niece or something.
Yeah, I used to go to arcade, so
Yeah.
I'm sure it's kind of the similar experience. But
yeah, it's different because arcade you only pay for the experience for the time that you spend there.
Yeah.
But with Clami, you can actually get back something. Let's say you go to the theaters, you watch a movie, you like it, but you get home with something, nothing.
Nothing.
You bring nothing home other than the experience. But with Clami, you bring back experience and also you bring back stuff. That's the fun part.
That's amazing. Let's go back to Lambos now.
Okay, Lambo.
I'm all over the
my
place.
favorite
right
subject. No,
Your favorite subject.
One of my favorite.
Okay, now you told me like about opportunities, like it creates opportunities. That's fine. The fact that you're in Quebec, we need to talk about as well. What are the negative experience you got by having a Lambo? Or have you ever had any negative comments, negative situation experience that you had because you
For sure,
drive
a lot.
A lot?
Yeah, a lot. But you live with it. You live with it. Mainly, the traffic is horrible. That's one thing. But I'm not someone that complains. But if I have to complain, traffic, the routes are horrible. You have to basically be like Neo in the Matrix trying to evade all the holes. So people will say, and they will bash on you. They will say, you buy this car just to scrap it. No, I just don't run into the potholes. Even though sometimes I try my best, I will still hit one or two. But most of the time, I will just try my best to always take the same route, so I know exactly where the hole is. But you will go through that route today, and tomorrow there will be new holes.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the two negative side effects. But also, there's always people that will give bad comments on it. I don't know why.
Have you ever heard someone telling you, like, in your face?
Yeah, of course.
Really?
It's too loud. I have no control. I bought it. It's stock. What do we want me to do?
It's too loud. Okay.
Yeah, if it's too loud, I'm sorry. What do you want me to do?
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah,
okay.
but even for let's say, that's the thing here. People are not supportive for seeing somebody else doing good.
We're bashing a lot in Quebec. We're bashing a lot of Quebec, the Quebec mentality. 2 weeks ago, I went to Ontario for a meeting with Daniel G. I don't know if you heard of him. He's a sales guy.
Okay.
I brought him to my conference last year, Elevate. He has a big following on social media, around 4.5 million people that follows him. He's pretty big, and he pretty much lives in the plane because he gets to speak all around the world. And we're talking about like the Ontario mentality or the Canada mentality. He says the same thing. It's the same there. So we're talking about celebrities, right? Like when you go to the States, let's say he walks around, people will recognize him and they're gonna want pictures. They wanna take an autograph or something like that. But there in Ontario, people see you and they don't really care. I thought it was only in Quebec because I know in Quebec, like if you're a celebrity, like especially a local celebrity, they don't even come say hi, even though they appreciate you. I've seen this happen like a couple of years before. Like I saw Rachid Badouri in Carrefour Laval.
Okay,
and I'm like, damn, this guy is big. Like I'm sure a lot of people will come say hi or anything like that, but nothing happened. because people they just like to live their life and not deal with those kind of situations, those kind of stuff. But in the States, like people go crazy for celebrity. I thought it was only here in Quebec, but it's the same.
Basically, it's
same in Canada. The whole Canada.
That's good to know. So that's why I don't really pay much attention to the negative part of the life. Yeah. I just try to do better every single day. That's one thing that I try to do. And by mentioning it, I saw some clips of Luc Poirier saying that he spends personal spending $1 million per month. And you look at the comment section, it's horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible. But the people don't actually realize or analyze it. If you spend $1 million, that means you basically have to make $2 million, right?
Minimum.
Yeah, because you pay 50% in taxes. So basically, he already paid $1 million per month in taxes. And to be able to generate $1 million, how many employees, families that he can feed and help them survive in order to get that money? And also, by spending, that means you pay also purchasing taxes, another 15%. So he already gave a lot to the society, and people don't even pay a single attention to the small details.
It's crazy.
They just see the big pictures. That guy is horrible. He spends so much for what?
But
mainly, he doesn't understand.
That's mainly jealousy, but at the same time, if we don't have people like Luc, like promoting, helping the economy, there's not gonna be any jobs. Like obviously, Luc is an investor. It's a different scenario, but like people like you and me who employs people, like Quebec needs it. Like Canada needs entrepreneurs to create jobs. Obviously, we make the most money because we decided one point to take the risk. So, I feel like it's all about education. Once, like, if there's school that can teach us why it's important, what's the difference between an employee and entrepreneur, what are the risks associated with it, I think they're gonna be more open to it. But guess what? They're not gonna teach it because they like us to be where we are.
Yep.
To search for the information by ourselves, and if you get lost, you get lost.
Yep.
That's how I see.
It is what it is. People will always just go for something that's in their favor. Let's say during COVID, when the lockdown arrived, all my restaurants, the sales dropped by about 80%.
80%.
Yeah.
How did you survive?
I was panicking, and also my staff was panicking. And that time, I just opened my sixth restaurant 2 days before the lockdown. And then I told my staff, I said, don't worry, I will not cut any one of you. You will not lose a single hour of shift. I'll figure out something. And during that time, I was just losing money every single day. A lot. And you see, I create jobs. I still maintain the jobs for the people. But once they receive the support from the government, the $2,000 per month, I lost like 50% of my staff. You see, I was there when they needed and who stayed when I needed it. But still, I still need to push forward. I understand that people will always tend to move on to something into their own favor. But it's part of life. And I'm not here to complain. I just need to move forward and try to do better every single day.
I forgot it was $2,000 a month. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's
someone who makes $4,000 a month, that's half of their income.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody who makes $2,000 is pretty much their whole income. So
yeah, of course.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot. And a lot of people, they're mainly students working part-time, but they get access to $2,000 a month. That's insane.
That's crazy. Someone wants to buy a Lambo. Let's talk about like purchasing a Lambo. Or let's say if you can close me, because I'm not a supercar guy. I do like good stuff. I do like beautiful items like cars. But what does it take to buy a Lambo? Is it do we finance it?
Of course, you can finance it, you can rent it. There's a lot of ways, but mainly, even though at first I thought to myself too, I forgot about the Lambo part in my life. As I go through the real life, you go through all the hardship, so you don't think about like all the flashy things first. But once the moment that I knew that my wife was pregnant, all of my friends around me told me, Jim, if you still have a dream to live it now, because after your baby's got to be born, it's over. Your life is over. I said, really? And I'm taking advice from people that had children. And I was just thinking, is there something else that I still want in my life as a kid? And then after a few days of reflecting, I said, I always wanted to be Batman. So that's why I got the Lambo. Once you get into it, you will really love it. But if before it's I can live without it, and now I can't even live without it. That's why I needed 3.
How's the gas?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah, I don't pay attention to the small details. I just make sure that I have enough funding to pay it. That's it.
That's crazy. So you could finance it. You could lease.
Yeah, you can finance it. You can lease it, and in a world with a lot of things going on, sometimes you have to think: is it better for you to own them all, or you can own it partially?
How do you own it partially?
By renting it.
Okay, renting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for sure, I'm not buying all of them, but the only thing that we all get in life is the moment in time. So even though you own it, but if you get stolen, you don't own it anymore. And then what's the interest rate of financing it? It's not that much, maybe 7 to 10%. Could be a lot on that big numbers. But imagine you can invest in a property, real estate, or any kind of investment and making 20% return on it. So that means you can actually pay for the interest of the car and also have extra cash flow.
So what you're saying is, instead of you prefer to like lease it, or like a mix of two?
Mix of two, depending on the moment, the opportunities that I think that I can seize, I will consider it.
Let's say to purchase a Lambo, it's minimum $400,000 and more, right?
Yeah.
Around there. So if you take that money, if you have the money, you take that money, you invest on a return of 20%. Yeah. And whatever you have as a profit, then you could lease your car pretty much free or some kind of way.
And also imagine I talked to you about the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. Yeah. Imagine you invest in a real estate and then you make
good appreciation.
Yeah, that's right. And then you take the money and then you just buy the car. Or if you take the extra money, you can maybe lease the car and reinvest the partial part. And then after, it's going to give you the second one.
People say that, I spoke with, I think, Remo Abba.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were telling me that it's not a good idea to lease it, because lease it once you want to like give the car out, like you want to give back the car, then all the money you spend, all the payment you made, it goes to the garbage, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Versus if you finance, like if you purchase it, you could purchase it by finance it, not lease it. If you buy it at a good price, you can sell it at a higher price, and all the capital you invested, like deducted, obviously it comes back to you. So sometimes he says that you could make money out of a car.
No, that's true. He's not wrong about it. Yeah. But you have to see what kind of person are you. What is your personal business profile? So you have to see, do you want to calculate all the stuff? I'm not the kind of guy. So for me, if I can pay for it and I can work on something else that I can generate more money, I don't mind paying all the throwing the money in the garbage. Basically, if you drive on the road in Quebec, you possibly got to throw it to the garbage if something bad happens. So that's the part of life that I don't want to pay attention to, and I want to really, really put my focus on the right thing.
So you don't mind paying whatever it costs, but as long as on the other side you're making as much money as possible to be able to cover.
That's right. That's my way of doing things. It's not a financial advice. It's just how it worked for me. And also, like I said, the only thing that we own is moment in time. You can basically buy a very expensive watch. If someone stole it, what's gonna happen? You don't own it anymore, but you still get the memories out of it. And
but watches take value in time.
Yeah, of course.
Lambo, does it take value in time?
Possibly. It did take during COVID, but now maybe it's got to. I cannot predict the future, but it has the potential because everything is getting like electrified. So for sure, all the naturally aspirated engine could maintain good value or gain value in the long term. We never know. So
what do you feel about Luc Poirier? Talking about Luc Poirier, who has like hundreds of Ferraris, do you have any ambitions to like maybe compete with him by having hundreds of Lambos?
Yeah, for sure, I do get inspired a lot.
Really,
people like Luc Poirier, even in Quebec, Luc Poirier, Patrice Ménard, mainly because they're with the.
I thought you were gonna say my name.
No, sorry,
I'm sad.
No, because I've been with the same girl for 20 years. Yeah. That's my wife. So that's why I get inspired by people that is in couple, working the business together, and then still staying couple. Yeah, that's why I get inspired a lot by those.
It's crazy you say that because I'm a big fan of Patrice as well. For that main reason, where they're a couple, they build an empire together.
Yeah.
They're still together, and they pretty much do everything together. It's very impressive, because I remember back in the days, people told me, don't get in business with your girl.
Yeah.
Don't get in business with your girl, because if something happens, she's going to take half of it.
She already owns half of what I have. So if she want to take 75%, I don't mind,
You'll build it back.
Yeah, you just build back the way you build it.
So what's your mindset behind working with a couple, working together with your wife? And people who tells you, hey, those in the beginning, I'm sure you had those comments. Hey, what do you? It has to be hard, because obviously when you're home, you're with her. When you're outside, you're doing business, you're with her. And especially if you guys, sometime here and there, it's never perfect, right? We have fights here and there. What if that fight that started at home went outside as well? Like now you're fighting in the business as well, because she's mad at you because you didn't maybe do the laundry. She's mad at you when you're working.
Yeah, but it happens a lot. But it's always on how you deal with problems.
Yeah.
For me, this is not a problem. This is a small problem versus the real problem that we are currently facing. So can we just put this aside first and work on the real problems? You see, we're a team. We're not fighting against each other. We're not against. We're together. We're actually partners, right? So let's focus on the real enemy. So this is actually what I always bring back to the table. So let's kill the enemy first, and then if you still want me dead, then I'll just die, okay? If the laundry is not done, it's my fault. Just kill me later, but let me kill that guy first. So that's always the way to deal with problems. You just have to really put clarity into the other person's way of seeing life.
Mm-hmm. And something that is very, very interesting about patents, and they know their roles, right? Mm-hmm. Some people, what happens is, they want to do more, or they don't know who does what. Mm-hmm. And sometimes ego is taking place, and it's my company, it's her company, and then obviously it starts fight, especially if you have egos, right? Mm-hmm. Personally, I feel like if you know what you're doing, like your role is to do the branding side, my role is to do the operation side, and we join together to make an empire. That's the best way to do it. That's the best way to do this, right?
Yep. Because at first, when I was about to start a business, I was about to do it with two of my closest friends, because we have very similar hobbies and all this stuff. You just want to do it with your bros. But at the end, it did not work out, and I had my wife as my main partner. And it's actually the best decision that I made, because she can complement me on all the side I'm not good at. Let's say organization, numbers, making sure that I have savings, because I'm the spender. So everything that I can, I will reinvest it. But she will help me save, and then also give me enough to reinvest in the business. And for me, I'm the one killing all the enemies, and she's the one making sure that there's no trace behind, making sure everything is clean and well organized. And little that I know, we save up enough money to buy our first house. I was like, hey, how come we have that cash flow? I could have opened another restaurant, but it's actually one of the best things that happened, because after buying the first house, it gets up in value, and then we can take back the money and reinvest it to everything else, right? So that's why we make a pretty good team together, and I plan to keep it this way for the rest of my life, and nothing's got to change.
Impressive. Well, good for you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah,
but I think you mentioned a very important point, is the ego side. For sure, if you're both equal, there's basically no one above, but there will always be someone in front. So you have to make sure you're the one having a good vision in order to lead the way. That's why she will always support and follow.
I like what you're saying. So you guys are both equals, but someone is leading in the front.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? You're not better than her, but you're leading in the front. Yeah. That's impressive.
So leaning in front, she's watching my back, making sure I have the good foundation.
But you're both equals.
Yeah, both equals.
That's
why I think we did pretty good, if not great. We did good.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5? I think I asked that question before the podcast, but I want to hear it once again for the audience. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Are you looking to spend and double the capacity that you're having right now, meaning more franchisees, helping more business owners acquire business that works. Like what I like about like franchisees is you're buying something that already works, and you're buying the system and processes.
Yep.
All you have to do is run it.
Yep.
And once you get good at it, you could buy more.
Yep.
And you just put employees, people to work there. And let's say you make $100,000 a year net profit. If you can buy 2, 3, 4, that's amazing, right? Some people can get really rich from it.
Of course, I did it myself back in the days. Like when I first started, I owned the very first 6 restaurants, me and my wife. So we run it, so we know the system is working. So that's why the difference between other franchisor and us is that actually I am the store operator myself for years and years. And I know exactly how to expand and also micromanage people, create managers, leaders, partners. So that's why we have a lot of franchisees currently that own multiple locations, because I taught them how to run efficiently. And
when you want to teach people, I'm sorry to cut you off. When you want to teach people, you need to spend time.
Yeah, of course.
Let's say I'm buying one of your restaurants, Sushi Sama. And how does it work? Like how many training do I have? Are you gonna be with me for a month or 2?
It's not gonna be me for sure. Now it's not gonna be.
Of course
me.
not.
It's gotta be me. But I have a lot of key people that are taking my place for different brands, because I know I can trust them and I know they can transmit the message to the new franchisee. So this is how it usually works. Let's say if we have someone interested in their franchise, basically, yes, it's a good thing. One of the main questions that I get asked a lot: what is the difference by opening my own brand and open a franchise, right? My answer is very simple. If you hesitate between those two, go with a franchise. Because if you really demand to do it by yourself, you won't even hesitate into thinking of buying an existing brand. You will just have the grind and the hustle, the will to actually do it by yourself. Even though you don't know how to do it, but you will be willing to learn by yourself. But this is for a very, very small percentage of people, like how I started at first. But it compares to if you go with a franchise, I can give you like a system, a blueprint that you can follow, and then you will better understand the industry. And later, if you plan to still open another brand by yourself, for sure, if you buy Sushi Sama, you will not be allowed to open a sushi under another brand. That's for sure. We can go with another type of cuisine, but the best part is you will learn how to operate the business efficiently.
What are the biggest mistakes? Let's talk about like the blueprint.
Yeah.
Right. Give some free nuggets to my audience, those who are interested in restaurant. What are the biggest mistakes that people make when opening a restaurant? Why? Usually, like in the business world, especially when we're talking about restaurants, they say it's not the best business to go in. Most people die. Most people fail.
Yep. There
is a big percentage of people who fails after the first year. There's not a lot of money in restaurant business, the margin profit is very low. So, why people get into it, and what are the biggest mistakes? Why people fail versus some guy like you are winning at this game?
Biggest mistake is they want to delegate too soon. I think that works to any kind of business, but you have to remember, restaurant business is a lot of transaction per day. So one wrong order can actually mess up the lifetime of the clients. It's not like selling some big stuff like real estate, right? Even though you mess up once, it's not that big because it's usually one customer is only one purchase in a lifetime. But the lifetime customers in a restaurant, they have to maybe order every month, every week. So there's a lot of potential mistakes to do on the daily basis. And people wanting to delegate, it will always be hard for them to find someone to be able to replace the store owner by themselves. But with time, you will know who is the right people that you can actually trust and also help them to become the manager. And then if not, like I did, I give them opportunities to become partners in a lot of the restaurant that I start expanding in the first few years.
Got it. So the biggest mistake is
delegating
too fast,
and also maybe not understanding properly the business, because there's a lot of people, there's a chef, they're a chef, right? And they say, fuck it, I don't like my boss, I will open my own business because I'm good at it, right? But this is only one of the 3 factors into the business. I always said the main one, not the main one, but the first one is the vision, the planning, and also all the organization goes to the first one. And the second one is manpower. So basically labor, working, and the ability to just put in the work. And the third one is money. Usually people, there's just a chef. They have no money and also no vision. They don't understand the business game. They have no knowledge and they want to start. So in order to succeed in any kind of business, you have to have 2 out of the 3. Imagine you have a very clear vision. You have understanding on how to build the business. And also you have the skills to do it. And also you can work in the business. The third thing you need is capitals. So you can go to people, fundraising, or just generate capitals, having a partners, investors, right? But if you imagine you have the ability to work, you have money, you just need to invest into something that is a system that's already built. That could work with a franchise business model, like mine. If not, you only have you have the vision, the organization, and the money. What do you think you do? You hire people. So you always need to have 2 out of the 3 in order to succeed in business.
That's a great insight. Talking about system and processes, that's one of your biggest, driver of why you're succeeding in this business. What are the stuff that you made sure you have in place so everything runs fluidly? Meaning system. What kind of system are you guys using? Like, what kind of do you have a manual that has all the process? Like, what kind of tricks do you have to make sure that everyone applies your system and process? Because once you sell a franchisee to a client,
yep,
you're not always there to check on them, right?
Yeah, of course we're not.
So you're not. So how do you make sure that this person? Obviously, there's going to be trainings, but what else do you do? Like, do you have anything that? Like, tell me more about it. I have no idea.
They will undergo a training.
Okay.
Depending on the brand, it's from 2 weeks to possibly 2 months of training, like full-time training, in order for them to be efficient and also understanding the core of the business. But also we will give them the manual book in order for them to...
So there's a manual book.
Yeah, there's a manual book. Yeah. For sure there's a manual book. All the details they go through during the training, it's in the manual book. So they can revise. But, there's people not taking time to just... refreshing the memories.
How many pages there is in this manual?
A lot, because there's in the operational side, dealing with customers, dealing with employees,
so you
also
invest,
accounting. There's a lot.
So you invested a good amount of money on those processes, on those manuals. So you hired professionals to build those, right?
Yeah, of course. We build those with professionals, and also myself giving like the right advice and how to implement it properly.
That's the reason I'm asking you this, because I've been to a lot of conferences, especially entrepreneur conferences, and one of my favorite one is from Patrick Bedell. He does big conference. He always talk about manuals, putting those systems in writing. Yeah. Once you have in writing, then there's no way people can do it otherwise, right?
Yeah,
as long as you have all the processes in writing, then you already have a system.
Yeah,
right.
He said it so right, because once it's on papers, there's no like arguing. It's like, why are you not just doing it?
Yeah.
So if there's not working, that means they're not doing it properly. That's a very, very good way of.
Yeah. So and you could apply it in any business, having process written in a manual, and and after that you ask a graphic designer to build it nicely, so everyone can read it. Especially when you have assistants. If let's say like in my business, I had like maybe 4 assistants in a span of 4 years, like an assistant every year, because usually they change, right? They learn and then they move to a bigger position. So it took me a lot of time. It takes a lot of time for me to train them, because my assistant. She's the one who manages all my calls, book my appointments, does the whole paperwork stuff. Mortgages, we have a lot of paperwork. So it takes a lot of time. But then once I got this idea of putting everything in a manual, life got easier. All they have to do, obviously, I do have to put some time to go through the vision, the mindset and everything. But after that, it's just reading the manual, applying it. And if she has a question, she has to go to the manual. So it gets easier. And all the business that I saw that are succeeding in a higher level, they all have everything written. So whatever business you're in, you need to have those systems and processes.
Totally agree.
So where did you learn? Where did you learn all this? Like, I know that it's from experience, but have you, like me personally, always been in personal development? So I used to go to conferences. I used to study the game from other people, like PBD, like Ryan Serhant, like Tony Robbins. People that are inspired, they do big things, and you can always learn from them. What I like to say is, if anything that you're doing, Jim, somebody else already done it 10 times better than you. And they've written a book about it. Right? So it's stupid to say that it's stupid to avoid those books, read those books, not reading those books. Right? So my question is, I'm sure you had those kind of mentors. I'm sure. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Not directly mentors, but indirect mentors.
Indirect mentors.
Let's say Patrick David, Tony Robbins, Rich Dad Poor Dad, now Andrew Tate, Ty Lopez. There's a lot of people you can actually learn from. Even though
I'm really surprised you're mentioning Andrew Tate. You're gonna get canceled, my friend.
No, but even though I don't live the same Canada lifestyle, but he inspired me a lot on a lot of things. 100%. Let's say being true to yourself, working hard every single day, those kind of things. I like it because it helps you push through every single day. And how it started is at one day back in 2016. This is the year that I bought my first house. I have 2 businesses running, doing good. And also I gave the ring to my wife. So I kind of think like, I'm set. At that time I had a smaller vision. I was like, this is good for me. From somebody that grew up from immigrant families, from the hood, Saint Michel, and that's able to do everything right, great, and own his own house, business running. So I thought I made it in life. And I still felt like I was not happy. And I did not understand why. But I went and Googled it. I said, why am I not happy? And then I bumped into Tony Robbins. And then after, that's the first moment I step into self-development. And that's how it opened my mind. It says like something I don't really remember to say. The level of thinking, it's based on the level of things you know. So if you want to expand your thinking, you need to learn more in order to expand the thinking. So that means if I cannot grow my business, it's based on what I know and what I believe. So the level of thinking that brought me to where I am today cannot bring me to the next level tomorrow.
That's deep. The level of thinking is based on the level of information you have.
Yeah.
That's deep.
There's another book that I read. It's called Secret of the Millionaire Mind from T. Harv Eker. He said, imagine your mind, it's like a library. There's a lot of files, right? So whenever you encounter problems, you will go through those files, those books. But imagine the solution is not here. Because if it was already there, you will have fixed it. So the only way to fix the solution is to change the files into your mind. So the library. So bring new books, bring new files, and maybe you will find new solutions. That's why you have to constantly keep learning new things. So that really opened up my mind.
Are you a reader?
I wasn't, but I became.
You became?
Yeah, because I knew this is something fundamentals in order to succeed.
Yeah. The best way to put this is somebody else did it 100 times better than you in any field that you're trying to work on.
Yeah.
So and they were nice enough to write a book about it to help you.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. It's like years and years of knowledge put in a book. And you don't want to read it because you think you're better than them. Come on.
Oh, you don't like to read books. I heard a lot of people say, I don't like to read books. I like to watch videos. But hey, he didn't make any videos back then. Napoleon Hill,
exactly.
In that time, there's no videos, there's no podcast. So you need to read the book to understand. And at the end of the day, environment change, technology change, but the human don't change. Our mindset, the way we think, the psychology doesn't change.
Yep.
So all those books who has been written by those people, it still applies today. Like if you want to become a friend of somebody, like there's the way that people used to do in 100 years ago, the same applies. The same thing apply here today. Talking about a book that I really like for you to read is Built to Sell.
Build to sell.
Build to Sell.
Okay.
Yeah. I want you to read that book because obviously there's one day, maybe in 10 to 15 years, maybe you want to sell your business. But do you know what does it take to sell your business? What's the multiplier behind your business? And how can you optimize it to have maybe 10x, 20 times what it's really worth, right? Some people don't think about it, but I read the book maybe last year, and it's crazy. It's crazy how, a lot of people don't just think about it, right?
Yeah, well, that's actually good. I'll learn from who?
Forgot the name, but
Build to Sell.
Build to Sell.
Yeah, because we for sure any kind of business. What I've learned is you have to plan an exit strategy. Then also you cannot make money faster by running your business compared to selling your business. That's one thing that I learned.
Yeah.
So for sure, of course, it stays in my mind.
Yeah.
At first, we wanted to sell one of their main holding companies for 40 millions. And then we got approached and we say, we want to sell 40. They said, no, we only giving you 20. I said, and then I ask, how much more do you want me to grow in order to buy me at 40? And give me a numbers. I said, pretty doable. And then the time comes, they want to buy at 40. I said, no, we're selling it now at 60. They said, but you're not worth 60. So tell me, what do I have to get in order for you to buy me at 60? So that's how we play. Because once you level up, you understand the game can be repeated. You can rinse and repeat the same formula. That's how I do it. So now I'm not thinking. I say, okay, maybe in a couple of years can sell it for over 100 millions. I never know, right?
You never know. You never know. It's all about like again, if somebody wants to buy your business, they need to make sure that they can operate it without you, right?
That's the thing. I'm not working in the business.
That's the thing.
Yeah, I have good partners. I have good people, key people, and I said it the way. This is how I did it from ever since I started the business. My vision was always to be free of my time, even though I was 100% not free of my time. So that was the case. But you always try to climb the ladder, climb the mountains, and when you reach a certain peak, you try to just settle and try to see if you can actually pull out of it. But every time you pull out, you feel the comfort. You feel the desire to just stay in that level forever. But it was built somehow inside of me that I still want to keep on climbing. But if you climb, you have to put time. You have to put effort. So every time you try to climb to a new ladder, it takes a lot.
And what I realized about you through social media is you like to hang around with people that who have the same interests as you, the same cars as you, or even they have a bigger lifestyle than you. That's what I see now. All you guys are pretty much superstars, and they have a Lambo.
I get inspired by a lot of people like this, and I hope to inspire a lot from the people around me. So I always push them to do better. I say, hey, even if you cannot afford a car, buy it. If you're that's what I do. I always push my life to the extreme limit most of the time. So I always try to do something that I'm not actually ready for. But once you do it, you will be back and trying to keep climbing. What
I'm trying to say is your environment is very important, and what I'm seeing on social media from what you're showing us is you're around the same type of people, the same mindset as you, and those people are, I'm sure, if they have nice cars, they're doing good in their business. So you guys always challenge each other, right?
Yeah, challenge, supporting, and also inspiring each other. You see, Ty Lopez came here because Raymond brought him here. Props to Raymond, for real. It's a big move. And one thing that he said back in the days that I watched through YouTube, he said you have to hang around with three type of people. 33% with people that are below you. So it will make you feel like you achieve something in life, and also you can help them to get to where you're at now. And also you have to hang around with people that are above you. 30% of the people are like 10 years ahead of you.
33%?
Yeah, so you can get inspired. And also that usually goes through mentors. Otherwise, there's no other way. And also the closest to you, the other 33% are the people that are the same level as you. So that's why in my business, all the business profile that I have, I hang a lot with people below me, same level as me, and also way ahead of me. And I just keep on doing. And I'm not looking down or looking up onto anyone. I say we're all humans. If it's humanly possible, that means everybody can do it. And let's hope to keep not hating and just work together into the bigger goals in life. Like fighting the real enemies. I'm not your enemy, right? We're friends. We can be partners. We can work together to reach the bigger picture.
That's amazing, man. Jim, you have a great mindset. I think my last questions for you, Jim. I'm gonna go. I want to ask you some rapid fire questions. The first one, it will be, if you have to go back in time, right, to your younger self, the younger Jim, and you can give him one advice or a minute of advice. Okay, with all your experiences that you have right now, if you had to go back, you have a minute to give him advice that can that can help him get an easy life or a better life or a faster life.
Also, buy Bitcoin.
Buy Bitcoins? Oh, yeah, 100%.
No. Anyway, I don't think I want to go back and change anything into my life because I'm pretty happy with what I have now. For sure, I will not say that I'm satisfied, but I like the way that I'm living now. I have like a beautiful wife. My parents are both healthy. I have a beautiful daughter. I don't want to change anything. I'm afraid of the butterfly effects. If you change something, the whole multiverse is going to open up. So that's why I don't want to change anything. But if it's going to be for an easy life, I'll say just buy Bitcoin. Why work so hard, right? Just enjoy life.
Talking about Bitcoins, now it's worth around $100,000. We're talking USD. We're what, 2024, December 2024. It's worth around $200,000 USD. I just saw a post recently. Somebody said it's gonna worth $1 million, $1.5 million.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I don't know enough into it to.
Do you have any?
Not really.
Not really?
Yeah, I invest everything mostly into the physical business.
Okay, great.
So for sure, if that will be the easy life, I'll go for it back in the days, but it will not build who I am today and also not have that kind of mindset. And I'll prefer to just stay and not change anything into the past.
Amazing. If you have to recommend a book beside whatever we talked about earlier, what
for
that
someone
would be?
that never picked up a book?
I think my dog is screaming. Can you hear it?
Okay. For someone that never picked up a book or they want to start the first book into self-development or like someone like you, what kind of people do you want me to recommend the book to?
Tell me again, I'm sorry.
Okay, sorry. Okay, let's say if you told me if there's a book that I can recommend to someone.
Yeah.
So the question for me, for you is someone that never picked up a book or never started their own journey, or for someone that is actually advanced in life and they can just pick up another book. Which one? What kind of audience you want me to give to?
I think both audiences. I have audiences that are making good money. They have the right mindset, and they just want the small tweak to get better, in business, better in life.
Okay.
And for someone who's also starting, I have a lot of audience.
Okay, I'll give 2 books. The first one for somebody that is starting, they're not sure about life. Go with Secret of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. Amazing book. This is where it actually does not teach you anything, but it helps you unlearn the belief that brings you to the results that you're not satisfied with. Because he explains, thoughts leads to feeling leads to action leads to results. People will always complain about the results, but they do not know why they have the results that they do have. It's because of their own thought. This is where it actually starts. So, amazing book. It helps you start from understanding how you generate a thought and how it impacts your feeling and how you take action based on that feeling, right? And secondly, it's called The Way of the Superior Man. Amazing book. It works for women too, but it's an amazing book. It talks about how to understand your own self-trauma and also how to deal with your other half and go further in life. Amazing book. I got referred by a very good friend of mine in 2020, and it just skyrocketed my business to another level based on that level of understanding. It's not like specialized skill set that you learn, but it's always based on how you think.
I like when people recommend books that I never heard. So, Jim, appreciate it for that. Like I never heard those books, and I heard about them, so it's pretty awesome. So I'm sure I'm gonna read the both of them. And lastly, Jim, a podcast that do you listen to podcasts?
A lot.
A lot.
A lot of emergency meetings of Andrew Tate.
Do you have what is it called?
I joined the real world.
Okay, you did join the world?
Yeah.
Okay.
I bought this program.
How does it look like?
It's good. It's good for sure. There's a lot of good things about it, and it's not meant for me because I'm not here to learn new skills, but I give the access to a lot of people working with me. Say, hey, try that stuff. It's gonna be good for you. Try this one. Try this one.
What's the best advice you got from Andrew Tate? You apply in your own business.
Stay true to yourself. Don't lie to people. Don't snake people. Work very, very hard every single day. This is the main core value that he really wants to show. And then you're meant for more. Anything that you think you want, you can have it if you actually put in the work and the effort.
That's great mindset. What about practical stuff that you learned from
Andrew Tate?
Yeah.
Good question. Let me think. I think how to start working on how you speak.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I know you can hear it. I stumble a lot. I'm not speaking very, very fluently. But he is so well spoken. He said you have to always reanalyze your own podcast. So you know actually because people are talking like older people, they talk for many, many more years than us. But they're not that well spoken. Why? Because they never work on improving that part of life.
Would you say 5 years ago you were better 5 years ago than today?
I think I'm getting better by the day, and that's pretty much.
That's pretty interesting. That's something that I asked Andrew Tate about, like as a question.
Really?
I spoke with him 2 years ago, to the app Connect from PBD, and one of the questions I had for him is about his conversation, like the way he speaks, and I asked him why are you so fluent? And he told me, well, first, it's my first language, so I'll always be better than someone who speaks 3 languages. That's my first language. The second thing is, one of the hacks that helped me get better at it is using complex words in a phrase.
Yeah.
So he usually learned 10, 20, 30 words, common words that we could use in a regular conversation, and he applies them. When you do that, use a complex word in a regular conversation, you feel smart. People think that you're smart.
Actually, that's cool.
That's
cool.
pretty. That's a great hack, right? It's crazy that we have the same reason why we follow Andrew Tate. One of the major things why I like Andrew is because of how fluent he is. Something that I'm working on. My first language is some Tamil, and second is French, and lastly is English. So I want to get better in English. So I need to work harder to be able to be better at it. So it's crazy that we have the same comment.
Oh, that's why maybe we're here together today.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
Great minds think alike, always.
Jim, thank you so much for the podcast. If people want to reach you out, what's the best way to reach you?
You can DM me through Instagram, Mr.jcam. That's as easy as it is. Pretty much, yeah.
Boom.
I don't work on LinkedIn, though.
You don't have a LinkedIn yet?
I have a LinkedIn because of my very good friend Niraj.
Okay.
I have 2 connects. And it's Niraj and maybe his sister. I don't remember.
Especially for your business, you should definitely put
a
little
I'll
more
put
effort.
time into it, 100%.
Thank you, guys.
I promise you, Niraj.
Thank you, Jim. I appreciate it.